Kyle Dubas and the Toronto Maple Leafs go out there on day one of free agent frenzy, and they get their guy. I mean, Petr Mrazek is now a Toronto Maple Leaf, and before I get into him and the signing, good luck to Frederik Andersen in Carolina. I mean, look, no matter what, we all have love for Frederik Andersen. He's been around here for so long. He helped us get to, I don't know how many playoff appearances, except for last season. He deserved a new spot, and the Leafs deserved to move on from that, and he signs with the Carolina Hurricanes for $4.5 million over 2 years. So that goalie tandem in Carolina, or I guess the trio of Frederik Andersen, James Reimer, and Jonathan Bernier, holy smokes, ex-Leafs or what? But now the Leafs had to move on. They got the cheaper goaltender, and they got him for 3 years. Petr Mrazek, 3 years at $3.8 million average annual value, and he is 29 years old, from the Czech Republic. Former Ottawa 67 and a 5th round pick from the Detroit Red Wings there in 2010. That's not really the main key of the signing, but I really do like this. Because not only is Mrazek a good goaltender, it adds a new face to this organization. A new goaltender, a new perspective. They're not just going to bring back the same nonsense over and over again. Obviously, with losing Zach Hyman as well, you're clearly in that mode. But you have to be with paying your big guys as much as the damn Leafs are. So you got to find a way, because Dubas is clearly not budging when it comes to moving any of those guys. So tough luck, Leaf fans. You got to just deal with it and just see what happens. Now, Petr Mrazek, his career numbers, because looking at last season's numbers, and I go off of the career numbers, because that's really what he is. He's played 277 career NHL games, and he's a 2.61 goals against average over that span. Now, that is really a flawed stat, in my opinion, goals against average, because it could be really low because he has a really good decor and doesn't have a lot of shots against him. Therefore, if his save percentage is garbage, it just means the shots he's getting on him are going in. Now, he has a career 9-10 save percentage over those 277 career NHL games. That's pretty solid. Now, we do have to remember, though, he has played with the Carolina Hurricanes, a very good decor in Carolina, so you could say, well, those numbers are in flux because of that, blah, blah, blah. However, we do got to remember that, though, Leaf fans, that our decor last year was not the problem, right? It really wasn't the issue. The Leafs had a great regular season. Your big guns just didn't show up in the playoffs. You didn't get Jack Campbell was all right in the playoffs. It was really not the issue. But now you bring in Petr Mrazek. He has a 3-year deal. Jack Campbell, obviously the guy who brought us to the playoffs last year, and won us 3 games in the playoffs last season. It's going to be an interesting goalie tandem. It's going to be a really interesting tandem because obviously Jack Campbell's been a career backup goaltender. Petr Mrazek has been basically a career tandem type of goaltender. So obviously with Jack Campbell, what he did last season, I think him and Mrazek are going to get a fair share to start the year. And then we're going to see which goalie takes it and runs with it and just see what happens. And I think it's going to be a really interesting stretch because I think the Leaf fans have never really seen this in Toronto. We really haven't. We've either had 2 garbage goaltenders fighting for it. Nothing against Reimer or Jonathan Bernier. Neither guy, career-wise, has put up insane numbers as a starting goaltender, right? So you were just kind of hoping someone caught lightning in a bottle and ran with it. And with these guys, Jack Campbell before last year had never really been a starting goaltender, but the numbers he put up last year were ridiculously good. And Petr Mrazek, like I mentioned, career tandem type of guy, but went through stretches where he started a lot of games, and he did very well. Last year, he missed, I believe it was like 20 games with an injury. The time that he did play, though, I think he had like a .923 save percentage, and he was very, very good. So for Petr Mrazek, I think this is a very interesting spot for him. He's on that 3-year deal. At the end of it, he'll be 32 years old, so he won't be... This really was his big money deal. I don't know what his last contract was, but to get the 3 years at 29 years old, clearly, he was not the big fish out there. And for the Leafs that need to dish money elsewhere, they were able to save a little bit of money with him. Obviously, with Frederik Andersen getting $4.5 million. Leaf fans are going to hate this contract no matter what, right? They're going to hate this contract to no end for some reason. But I ask you this. If they brought back Frederik Andersen on the exact same contract that he got in Carolina, the 2 years of $4.5, you know what you're going to hear? You're going to hear, well, they're not making an adjustment. They're not switching things up. They're just going same old nonsense and blah, blah, blah. So they bring in a new face, a guy who's had a pretty good track record in the NHL. He's not overly old. It's not like he's on the decline. 29 years old. He's more or less in his prime. It's going to be an interesting one. And another good thing, Leaf fans, with him signing for only $3.8 million over the 3 years, the Leafs still, with obviously losing Zach Hyman and losing the money that Frederik Andersen was being paid, the Leafs have $5.5 million in cap space after that deal. So they still have some wiggle room. Where do they go next? Do they go back to the D-core, obviously losing Zach Bogosian? Do they go to the forward depth, bringing back Alex Galchenyuk, or bringing in somebody else, getting $3 million a year over 3 years, kind of like this deal? I don't know. Guys, this is for you to let me know in the comments below. This video is not really for me to go crazy about my expectations because we already did that in the season review, off-season preview. This video is for me to tell you guys about the signing, about Petr Mrazek, what my take is on the signing. And for you guys, it's about your opinion on the signing of Petr Mrazek. Where do you think this is going to take the Toronto Maple Leafs? And where do they go next? Because it's going to be a very interesting offseason for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Obviously, losing Zach Hyman, you want to bring some guy in. You want to bring somebody in to make a huge impact on your team. Who is that going to be? You need to bring in a back-end guy because you lose Zach Bogosian. He was very sound for us last year, and it's unfortunate he won't be back. But you got to find a way to fill that hole. What are they going to do? All right, so guys, you know what? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and you like the signing of Petr Mrazek to the Toronto Maple Leafs, smack that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, your thoughts on the signing for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and all that stuff, guys. Go nuts in the comments about the signing, what they're going to do next, everything, guys. Go nuts in the comments below. Twitter is down below for myself. Follow up, send me a DM, all that great stuff. The Instagram page is down below as well, so follow up there if you have not done so already. And I will talk to you guys, if I'm not mistaken, it's Raptors edition. When the hell is the NBA draft? Is it tomorrow? Today? Anyways, I'll tell you guys, Raptors edition post-NBA draft, because we will be seeing who the Raptors will be selecting with the 4th overall pick. We'll talk to you guys Leafs edition at some point when they sign their next guy, because I assume it's going to be a literal free agent frenzy, and trades are going to be flying around. It's going to be a crazy offseason, so I'll talk to you guys next time, Leafs edition. And for the Blue Jays, they got a doubleheader against the Red Sox today. Game 1 goes at 2 o'clock. I should be home for that, so I might be able to get the one game right after the game. We'll see how it goes, though. Worst case scenario, I'll talk to you guys later tonight with the doubleheader combined into one video. All right, so you guys, thank you so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll talk to you guys then.